since this was the last Kcpe, we allowed some candidates to do an exam when they were not registered, and therefore they had to use manual systems to give their answers. The other category, as I've already mentioned, are those kids with special needs, mainly candidates with conditions such as cerebral palsy, muscular issues, and candidates with visual impairment. So, Chair, those are a few cases that we would use manual marking to be able to get their marks. On verification of examination results before release, Chair, Knec has incorporated quality control in all examination processes, and quality assurance are undertaken before the release of the results. And the main procedures include configuration of keys for scoring.
Yes, you have 5 minutes, but we'll still add you because of this matter is very important. I want to note the arrival of Honorable Mukunji, the member who has the question. Kindly introduce yourself.
Chair, Committee on Education, Cabinet Minister and your team. My name is Gitonga Mukunji, Member of Parliament of Manyata Constituency, Embu, and also an interested case and a friend of this committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Honorable Eve Bara, do you introduce yourself?
Good morning. My name is Eve Obara, Member of Parliament for Kabondo Kcpe constituency. Thank you.
Let's proceed, PS.
So the second last question, Chair, the verification of examination results before release. I would want to confirm that Knec has incorporated quality controls in all examination processes. Quality assurance procedures are undertaken before the release of the examination results. And the main procedures, Chair, is that we have a confirmation of the keys for scoring the multiple choices to ensure that the answers for the MCQ, the multiple choices, are correct before scoring commences. This is done by a panel of experts for the 2023 Kcpe. The panel met on the 3rd of November, and the panel approved the keys for scoring the 2023 examination. A statistically adequate sample is selected to validate and verify the accuracy of the following. One is capture of scores per paper, standardization of scores per paper, combination of scores per subject, and grading of grades per paper. The standardization is done for all the papers based on Knec award rules and regulation. Details of the standardization process are also provided to the schools in a backwash report that Knec develops after the release of results. I would want to make it clear, Chair, that the standardization formula is a public formula. It is always released after every examination, and it is available in the reports that we do and which are available in our bookshops. And so therefore, the standardization formula is a public formula. The Kcpe examination is mainly used for placement of learners into secondary schools. It is therefore a norm reference, and compares one candidate's performance with that of the other. Standardization of scores is applied to feed all candidates' scores in a normal curve. The standardization scores facilitate comparison across examination centers and candidates. When the scores are standardized, the relative position of candidates remain unchanged. The top candidates in each of the subjects will remain at the top. The standard score always convey the exact information as to the position of a candidate relative to the other sitting the same examination. The standard scores are essential if marks from several papers are to be added to give a total score, and it is desired that each paper should contribute equal to the total score. Knec also scrutinizes the overall results to identify any anomalies. For instance, in the 2023 results were compared with those of the previous years. The following tables generated. I will not go through the tables, but Chair, what I can just say, between the 2 years, 2023 and 2022, the performance were quite aligned to one another. When you see those who scored more than 400, it was 0.6%. This year, last year, it was 0.77. When you check those who got 300 to 399, it was 24.9%. This year, last year, it was 24.92. So we can say the results of the 2 years are comparable, Chair. Observation, The percentage of KCSE candidates I have already mentioned were comparable in the 2 years. In 2023, 0.6 of the candidates scored 400%, 400 and above. And again, for last year, we can see they were fairly comparable. So, Chair, I would not want to go through all that, but we can find this in the table. But the overall thing, Chair, is that the results are comparable between the years 2016 and 2023. On question number 8, Chair, is that the improvement made by the Ministry of Education with regard to the marking and release of KCSE over the last 10 years. Honorable Chair and members, as you would recall, there were challenges with examination leakages in the period before 2016. And the main contributing factor were identified as follows. One is setting of the examination. Initially, there was no pool of already set and moderated examination papers in every examinable subject, from where a confidential examination would be selected. A single examination paper for every subject was set yearly and labeled accordingly. Therefore, one would be able to know in advance the examination which was for a particular year, and therefore creating opportunities for leakages. In most cases, the examination would be set only one subject specialist at Knec and later moderated by other external specialists. This process was flawed because the paper was revealed to the moderators over whom Knec had no authority. Chair, on packaging and transportation, there was a problem with the packaging, transportation, and administration of exams, as that entire process was not secured, leading to leakages. Challenges of social media and mobile phones. Due to advanced technology, Chair, including mobile phones, social media platform, it was relatively easy to leak examination by just taking a picture and posting online and thereafter sharing widely. Since 2016, the ministry has been progressively implementing reforms to restore the integrity of the examination. There have been continuous improvement over the years, informed by annual evaluation from each of the examination cycles. And some of the measures include new and large pool of examination papers are set for Kcpe in all subjects. This is done offline to avoid electronic leakages. Only a few vetted officers from the Examination Council are allowed to access the papers. Security features are incorporated in all examination scripts to enhance integrity, to prevent tampering. Packaging of examination scripts was reinforced by shrink wrapping, including cartons, in addition to 2 other security sealed polycaps. If you saw this year's Chair, it was even more enhanced. Transportation has been reviewed and reorganized so that it is efficient, confidential, and controlled. Examination materials are transported under tight security to a warehouse equipped with security and surveillance systems that are linked to the Kenya National Examination Command Center and the Control Center. The warehouse is guarded on a 24-hour basis by our GSU officers. In the past, the examinations were stored in police armories. This was discontinued to enhance security, and currently we are using 576 containers, and which are again under 24-hour armed security guard. Each container is locked with 2 different special locks. The keys are kept by 2 different officers, the Deputy County Commissioner and our Sub-County Director of Education. The 2 officers must be present whenever a container is opened and closed. This is done in the presence of police officers and also our officers. The scripts are transported under tight security from the warehouses to the containers and from the containers to the schools. And therefore, the risk of early exposure is further reduced by the center managers collecting examination materials daily from the container. They collect in person and are responsible for their safety. Again, Chair, they are escorted by our security officers, and the enhanced responsibility and roles of center managers in examination administration ensures effectiveness of examination administration. The KCSE examination, which we are still doing, Chair, were collected twice so that it reduces opportunities of early exposure. At the end of each examination, the candidate scripts are counted physically and sealed in the presence of candidates and center managers and supervisors. The answer sheets are then escorted back to the container, secured by the Deputy County Commissioner and officer, the Deputy Sub-County Director. These are later transported by Knec officials and security agencies back to Nairobi. Intensified and vigorous monitoring of the examination administration process by multi-agency teams is done to ensure validity, reliability, quality, and credibility of the entire process. The multi-agency teams reflects a whole-of-government approach that includes officers from the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Interior, the Ministry of ICT, and a whole other team of government officers. The handling and storage of all examination materials for both Kcpe and KCSE is closely monitored and managed by the command of the Kenya National Examination Council. Centralization of marking centers in Nairobi metropolis to ease management and monitoring of marking. This was unlike in the previous years where this was spread across the country, and it made it very difficult for effective control. Knec has also set up an interagency call